Alright, so this is how you change a temperature controller on an STS glue machine. You're going to need three tools. 1/8 inch hex key, a 7/64 hex key, but the long handle, a temperature controller, and then it should come with two new screws inside of this bag here. So on these glue machines you have temperature controllers on the front. You have one at the top, which is going to be your supply unit. This machine has one in the lower left, which is hose 1. Most machines also have hose 2. This is our demo machine, doesn't have that. But what you want to check is, does the little red LED light on the upper left of the knob light up? So, for example, on this machine, my supply unit light is lit up. If it stays solid on, it means the machine is heating. If it is off, it just doesn't turn on, that means it's not heating. If it's pulsing, that means it's maintaining temperature. So, a quick test to tell if my card is good or bad is, for example, this one is out. Turn your knob all the way up. Does the light turn on? Turn the knob all the way down. Does the light turn off? If it doesn't respond to your input, more than likely your controller is bad, or the hose is bad. So there's one more thing you want to check before we go in and check the card itself. So on the back of the machine, where our hose connections are plugged in, we have two spots, hose 1 and hose 2. On this machine I only have one hose plugged in, but if I had two, I would do the same procedure. I would just disconnect the second hose. So I want to unplug the hose that's in question, that's not heating. Now I'll plug it in to the other outlet. Go back around to the front of the machine, check that temperature knob. Does it respond? Does it light up on that second card, the one that I'm plugged into? If it does, that means my hose is good, my other card is bad. If it still stays dark, that means it's my hose, not my card, because the same hose isn't working on either card. So let's start by opening up our top panel. We're going to take our 1/8 inch hex key. I have, on this machine, 4 screws. I have 2 on top and 2 under this upper lip. Before I open that though, let's unplug this machine. Verify you're unplugged. Let's put our screws to the side and open the lid. So inside the control panel, you have several wiring harnesses. The temperature controllers are actually labeled. For example, this one up top is SU for supply unit. That's that first knob on the upper right that we saw that controls the temperature of the tank. Go in and check those plugs. Just make sure they're tight. If you pull them, they will come off. Sometimes they jiggle loose. Put it in. At this point, you can plug it back in. Verify, is my card still down? If it is, we'll move to the next step. So with my glue unit scooted to the edge of a table, I want to take off the 6 screws that hold this front panel on. There's 2 on each side, 2 on the front, and the 2 are right there. I'm just going to take all 6 of those out, put those screws to the side. Again, make sure your machine's unplugged. With those screws removed, we can now open up our front face. Now these controllers are all going to be on a wiring harness, so don't pull it too hard. Just gently pull it out and just let it hang. So at this point we want to remove our temperature controller that we want to replace. So you're going to take your long-handled 7/64 inch hex wrench, find your temperature controller you want to replace, gently remove the plug from the back of it, and there's going to be 2 small hex head screws securing it to the front panel. And you just pull that controller out of its slot, retrieve your screws, and then put the new controller in place. Now we have a new controller into place. We want to plug it in, but let's make sure before we plug it in to give a gentle tug on all the wires going into this plug. Make sure nothing is loose. Plug it into the back of the controller. Do a quick check on all your other plugs and wiring connections to make sure nothing came loose while we had this panel dropped. Everything is good. Let's gently put it back into place. Put our 6 screws back in underneath. Then we'll plug it in and see what happens. Okay, now we have our new temperature controller installed. We have the machine button back up. We have our hose connected on the other side. We have the machine plugged into the power source. Let's go ahead and turn it on. Immediately, we should see our red LED indicator lamps light up. If they don't, then let's back up, repeat some of the troubleshooting steps. But assuming they all turn on, make sure your temperatures are set between 350 and 365, depending on the glue. Let it warm up for about 30-45 minutes. Turn your pump on, you're good to go. All right, now the repair is done. Let's take our old controller, the static control bag that it came in, repackage that and send it back to A to Z. That's it. Any questions, just give us a call. Thanks.